Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel ApnaFUNDA online. Welcome to Simple and Compound Interest video 3. From this video onwards, we will start solving questions one by one on this topic. We will start with basic questions, and as we proceed, we will level up the questions. In case if you are unable to follow, repeat the questions where you are uncomfortable and watch it again. I hope you have watched our first two videos on simple and compound interest. I hope you now know all the important formulas. You have taken a note. In case if you haven't watched our previous videos on simple and compound interest, or if you have missed, I'm sharing the video links in the description box. Watch them first in case if you have not watched or missed those videos, and come back to start solving along with me. This topic also involves a lot of percentage calculations, so I'm also sharing the playlist link of percentage videos in the description box. It is important for you to be 100% thorough with percentage before you start practicing and learning simple and compound interest, else you will face difficulty which I don't want. Kindly subscribe to ApnaFUNDA online to ensure that you don't miss a single video on this topic. If you have any query, doubts, or anything you want to tell us, you can mail us at hello@apnafundaonline.in. In the description box, there are also links to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page. Click on those links and follow our page for daily updates. Let's start solving. Keep your copies ready, take a pen, and solve along with me. First question. Find the simple interest on a sum of rupees 15,000 for 5 years at the rate of 8% per annum. So, what we need to find is the simple interest. I'm sure you know the simple interest formula, which is simple interest is equals to principal into the rate of interest into time period divided by 100. In this case, my principal is rupees 15,000. My rate of interest is 8% per annum, and the time period is 5 years. All the things are given, we just need to calculate. Let's solve this. So this is equal to 15,000 into 8 into 5 divided by 100. Correct? You solve this and you will get 6,000. So the simple interest on the sum of 15,000 for 5 years at the rate of 8% per annum is 6,000. This is a very basic, simple question. I'm sure you must have solved it. I'm sure you are aware about the formula. Let's go to the next question. Find the amount after 3 years on a sum of rupees 20,000 invested in simple interest at 10% per annum. So over here, we need to find the amount on a particular sum which is invested in simple interest. So in case of simple interest, the amount formula is amount is equals to principal plus simple interest. Correct. Now, simple interest is equals to principal into rate into time period divided by 100. So principal in this case is rupees 20,000. Rate of interest is 10% per annum, and the time period is 3 years. Correct. So let's solve the simple interest. So simple interest will be equal to 20,000 into 10 into 3 divided by 100. So this will be 6,000. Correct. What we need to find is the amount. We know the simple interest is 6,000. So amount is equals to principal, which is 20,000, plus simple interest, which is 6,000. So amount is equals to 26,000. This is my answer. I'm sure you have solved along with me, and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. Interest earned on a sum of rupees 25,000 for 4 years is rupees 5,000. Find the rate of percent. So what is given is the interest earned is rupees 5,000. This is the simple interest. The sum of rupees 25,000 is the principal, and the time period is 4 years. We need to find the rate of percent. Correct. So simple interest is equal to rupees 5,000. My principal is equal to rupees 25,000. My time period is equal to 4 years, we need to calculate the rate of percent on which this sum is invested. Correct? So if you have checked out my video 2, which is on the formulas, you must be aware about how to find the rate in the under the simple interest. So rate is equals to simple interest into 100 divided by P into T, I mean principal into time. So rate of interest equals to SI, that is simple interest. This is 5,000 into 100 divided by principal, which is 25,000 into T time, which is 4 years. So my rate of interest, we just calculate this. This is 5%. So the rate of percent is 5%. This is my answer. Alternatively, you can also solve this by the simple interest formula. Simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time period divided by 100. So this is 5,000 equal to 25,000 into R into 4 divided by 100. Correct? We just solved this. This will be 5%. Your R value will be 5%. This is my answer. Easy question. Next question. Interest earned on a sum of rupees 10,000 at 4% is rupees 4,000. Find the number of years. So it's a similar question like the last one. Only in this case, we need to calculate the time period. That is the number of years. So what is given is we have the simple interest, which is rupees 4,000. Principal amount is rupees 10,000 and the rate of interest is 4%. So we need to calculate the time period. Correct? So the formula to find the time period or the number of years under the simple interest is T is equals to simple interest into 100 divided by principal into the rate of interest. Correct? So let's solve this. This is 4,000 into 100 divided by principal 10,000 into rate 4%. Correct? Let's solve this. 10 years. This is my answer. Easy question, simple to solve. In this case also alternatively you can solve with the simple interest formula, which is simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So when you solve this, simple interest is 4,000, principal is 10,000, rate is 4%, calculate for T. So when you calculate for T, your answer will be 10. Easy question. Next question. A certain sum at simple interest obtained 18,000 in 6 years at 6%. So over here we need to calculate the principal. So in the previous question we calculated the time period. Prior to that we had the question to find out the rate of interest. In this particular question we need to solve for the principal. So what is given is simple interest is equal to 18,000. Correct? My time period is 6 years and the rate of interest is 6% per annum. Correct? We need to calculate the principal. So the principal formula is simple interest into 100 divided by rate of interest into the time period. Correct? Let's solve this. So principal is equal to simple interest 18,000 into 100 divided by rate, which is 6, into time, which is 6. Correct? So when you solve this, you will get the answer. 50,000 is the principal which was invested for 6 years at 6%, and the simple interest obtained on that is rupees 18,000. Similarly, you can solve this with the simple interest formula, that is simple interest equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So simple interest in this case is 18,000. Principal is something we need to calculate. into 6 into 6 divided by 100. So this will be 18,000 equal to 36p by 100. So when you solve this, your p will be equal to 50,000. This is my answer. Very easy question. I'm sure you must have solved this, and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. Find the difference in interest obtained between a sum of rupees 20,000 invested at 20% for 2 years and a sum of rupees 15,000 invested at 10% for 4 years. So there are two simple interests that we need to calculate. So the first one will be where the principal is rupees 20,000. It is invested for it is invested at 20%, which is my rate of interest, and it is invested for the period of 2 years. Correct? We need to calculate the simple interest. And for the second part, the principal is rupees 15,000. This amount is invested at 10% per annum, and the time period is 4 years. Okay, so let's calculate simple interest in both the case. So over here, simple interest, which is principal into rate into time divided by 100, will be equal to 20,000 into 20 into 2 divided by 100. Let's solve this. This will be 8,000. Correct. So this is the first part. So the simple interest on the second part is over here also simple interest equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So over here principal is 15,000 into rate of interest, which is 10%, into time, which is 4 years, divided by 100. Just calculate this. This will be 6,000. So the simple interest on the first sum is 8,000 and on the second sum is 6,000. We need to find the difference. So 8,000 minus 6,000, the difference of 2,000. This is the answer. Simple question, not at all calculative. Correct. Let's move to the next question. Find the difference in amount earned between a sum of rupees 20,000 invested at 20% for 2 years and a sum of rupees 15,000 invested at 10% for 4 years. Similar question, it just we need to find the difference in the amount. Let's solve it again. So the first part says the principal is rupees 20,000, the rate of interest is 20%, and the time period it's 2 years. And the second part says the principal is rupees 15,000. This amount is invested at 10% and the time period is 4 years. Okay, let's solve this. Let the first case simple interest is equals to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So let's solve this. Principal is 20,000 into 20 into 2 divided by 10, but divided by 100, sorry. So this will be 8,000. 8,000 is the simple interest, correct? In the second case also simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So this is 15,000 into 10 into 4 divided by 100. This will be, this simple interest will be equal to 6,000. So in the first case and in the second case, the principal is in the first case is 20,000 and simple interest is 8,000. So my amount, which is principal plus simple interest, is equals to 20,000 plus 8,000. So this is 28,000. This is the amount of the first sum. On the second sum, the principal is 15,000 and the simple interest which we found out is 6,000. In this case also amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. So principal is 15,000, simple interest is 6,000. So this will be 21,000. So on the second sum, the amount earned is 21,000. We need to calculate the difference in the amount earned. So 28,000 minus 21,000. This will be equal to 7,000. This is the answer. Simple question. I'm sure you have solved along with me, and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. After how many years will a sum of rupees 22,000 become rupees 30,800 at the rate of 8% per annum? So we need to calculate the number of years, that is t. What is given is that a particular sum of 22,000 became 30,800. So very clearly I'll say that 22,000 is the principal and 30,800 is the amount. Correct? So we know that amount is equals to principal plus simple interest. So over here the amount is 30,800, principal is 22,000 plus simple interest. So 30,800 minus 22,000, this will be equal to simple interest. I hope you are able to follow. I'll repeat it again. A particular amount, a particular sum of rupees 22,000 became 30,800. In such a sentence, it means that it is with the interest. A sum became another sum, that is, it has earned interest. So do not be confused that which is the principal and which is the interest or which is the amount. It's very simple. Amount is always greater than the principal. Correct? And the difference between amount and principal is equal to simple interest. Correct? So simple interest in this case is 8,800. Correct. So what is given to me is simple interest of 8,800. Principal is 22,000. Rate of interest is 8%. We need to calculate the time. Correct? We need to calculate the time period. So the time period formula T is equals to simple interest into 100 divided by principal into the rate of interest. Let's solve this. Simple interest is 8,800 into 100 divided by principal of 22,000 into the rate of interest of 8. Correct? Very simply, you can calculate this. So my answer is 5 years. So after 5 years, the sum of 22,000 will become 30,800 at the rate of 8% per annum. I hope you have followed. This is a good question. I'm sure you have solved along with me, and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. If rupees 80 amounts to rupees 112 in 10 years, what will it amount after 16 years? So what is given is a particular some principal amounts to something. So 80 amounts to 112. So similarly, I'll like the last question, I'll say over here that we know that amount is greater than principal, and this is the principal and this is the amount. So the difference between amount and principal is simple interest. So by this formula, we can calculate the simple interest. Correct? I hope you're able to follow. So simple interest in this case is 32. Okay, so what is given is currently that 80 has earned an interest of 32 in 10 years at a certain rate of interest, which we are not aware. So what is not given is the rate of interest. Correct? But our question is not to find out the rate of interest. Our question is to find out what will it amount to after 16 years. What will that is, what will 80 become in 16 years? So, at a particular rate of interest, correct? So, by this question, the first thing that we need to do is calculate the rate of interest. We need to find the rate at which the sum is invested, else we won't be able to move ahead. Correct? So, let's calculate the rate of interest. So, we know that rate is equals to simple interest into 100 divided by principal into time. Let's calculate that. Simple interest is 32 into 100 divided by principal. Principal is 80 into the time period is 10. Correct? I hope you're able to follow. So my rate of interest will become 4 years. So now what I have the principal of rupees 80. I have the rate of interest at 4%. What I need to find is the amount after 16 years. So my time period is 16 years. So let's calculate the simple interest on this. Simple interest is equal to 80 into 4 into 16 divided by 100. Correct? Calculate this. This will be 51.2. So simple interest is equal to 51.2. We need to find the amount after 16 years. So amount after 16 years is principal plus simple interest. So this is 80 plus 51.2. So this is equal to 131.2. This is my answer. Simple question. I hope you have solved along with me. In such a question, we know that the rate of interest is not given. What is hidden is the simple interest. That is a big hint. So we knew that when 80 became 112, so automatically the difference is the simple interest which is earned on 80 at a particular rate of interest in 10 years. From there, when you have the principal given, the simple interest given, and the time period given, you'll be able to calculate the rate of percent. Once you have the principal, rate of interest, and the time period, you can calculate simple interest. Once you can calculate the simple interest, you'll be able to find the amount. So it is very important for you that it's not that you have noted all the formulas and you are aware about all the formulas, but it is very important for you to also understand that how you need to proceed step by step so that you are arriving at the answer in first go. If you have understood this question, I must I must tell you that you have done a good job. But you have not understood, please watch this question again. Watch this part again. If you have not understood, please note out all the formulas which I have shown in video number 2. It is very important and please understand the flow as we proceed. Next question. The total interest earned by Bhavin from two sums invested on a sum of rupees 1500 at 3% per annum and on the other on a sum of rupees 2200 at 5% per annum is rupees 310 for the same time period. Find the number of years. So what we know that Bhavin has invested in two sums. Okay. And from that, the total interest that he has earned is 310. So let's go by step by step. So on the sum one, the principal is 1500 and the rate of interest is 3%. Correct? So let's write this. Principal is rupees 1500 and the rate of interest is 3% per annum. Correct? On the second sum, the principal is rupees 2200 and the rate of interest is 5% per annum. Correct? The biggest hint in this question is that both these sums were invested at for the same time period. For the same time period. So let us assume let time period be equal to t. So time period in this case will be t years. In this case as well, it will be t years. Correct? So let's calculate the simple interest on both these sums from what is given to us and then proceed. So simple interest as we know is principal into rate into time divided by 100. So principal is 1500 into rate is 3% into t divided by 100. Correct? So this becomes 45t. So simple interest on the first sum is 45t. Let's calculate for the second sum. Simple interest is equal to principal into rate of interest into time period divided by 100. So So simple interest will be equal to principal 2200 into rate 5% into time period assumed to be T divided by 100. So this will be equal to 110T, correct? So the simple interest earned on the first sum is 45T and the simple interest earned on the second sum is 110T, correct? So what is given to us that both these interests is equal to 310. Correct. So what is given to us is the simple interest for the first sum and the simple interest on the second sum is equal to 310. Correct. So this is equal to 155T equal to 310. So T is equals to 310 divided by 155. This will be equal to 2 years. This is my answer. We were asked to find the number of years, that is to calculate the time period. Our time period is 2 years. Simple question, like previous question, you need to go step by step. We had to assume the number of years to be T in both the cases because this sum was invested for the same time period. We calculated the simple interest on both these sums, and together these interests is equal to 310. From there we calculated the time period. I'm sure you must have understood. I'm sure you have solved along with me, and this is the answer that you will also get. Find the amount if rupees 25,000 is invested at 8% for 2 years under compound interest. Now we come to our first question on compound interest. So what is given to us is principal of rupees 25,000. Rate of interest is 8% per annum. It is very important to know that under compound interest, whether we are compounding it half yearly, annually, quarterly, it is very important. Over here, it is nothing said. All it is said, the rate of interest is 8% per annum and it is under compound interest. So we assume it to be annually. The time period, that is N, is equals to 2 years. Correct? Now we know the compound interest formula. Amount is equals to principal into 1 plus R by 100 divided by, sorry, whole to the power N. Correct? This is the formula that we have discussed in our video number 2. We discussed all the formulas under simple and compound interest as well. We need to calculate the amount, so we just need to calculate this. Let's calculate principal, that is 25,000 into 1 plus rate of interest 8 divided by 100 whole to the power of n, that is 2 years. Correct? So let's solve this. This will be 108 by 100 square. So in case of compound interest, you will always have to do some calculations. You need to be very fast in calculations, very fast in percentage, very fast in division. So this is 25,000 into 1.1664. So when you multiply this, your answer will be 21,29160. So this is the amount. This is my answer. Easy question to start with on compound interest. An important question. You just need to be very fast in calculations. If you are having some trouble, do manual calculations, but ensure that you solve such questions fast. Next question. Find the compound interest earned on a sum of rupees 3,000 at 6% for 3 years. Okay, so over here we are asked to find the compound interest. In the previous question, we were asked to find the amount. So we know that principal is rupees 3,000. The rate of interest given is 6% per annum and the number of years is 3 years. Nothing is said about compounding, so we assume that it is compounded annually. Okay, so we know the formula, that is amount is equals to principal into 1 plus R by 100 divided by N. Correct? And if you, when we want to find the compound interest, it is amount minus principal. Correct? So let's solve this. Principal will be 3000 into 1 plus r, that is 6 by 100 whole to the power of 3. So this is 3000 into 106 by 100 to the power 3. So this is 3000 into 1.06 to the power 3. This is how I solve. I normally don't divide and make it more complicated. I feel that as simple as easy I'll keep it, so that it does not become difficult for me when I multiply. So 3000 into this becomes 1.910. So this will become 3573.04. So the amount on this particular sum earned is 3573.04. What we need to calculate is compound interest. So compound interest is equals to amount, that is 3573.04, minus principal, which is 3000. So compound interest becomes 573.04. This is my answer. I'm sure you have solved along with me, and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. The difference between compound and simple interest compounded annually on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 4% per annum is rupees 1. Find the sum. Interesting question. Let's solve this. Now, what is given to us is the difference between the compound and simple interest, which is rupees 1. What is given to us that there is a particular sum of money which we are not aware has been invested for 2 years at 4% per annum under both compound and simple interest. So the very first information that is missing is what is the certain sum of money that was invested, and that is what we are asked to find. So let us assume the sum of money to be P. Okay. Now let's go step by step. Now let's solve for simple interest. So now we have assumed the principal to be P, correct? The rate of interest given is 4% per annum. The time period is 2 years, correct? Now let's calculate the simple interest for this. The simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time divided by 100. So let's solve this. Principal is P, rate of interest is 4, time period is 2 divided by 100. So this becomes 8P by 100. So this is equals to, I can write this as 0.08P, correct? Now, as I mentioned before, I normally don't solve it now. If I want, if I can actually calculate like this, it becomes 2p by 25. But I actually don't want to complicate it because I want to keep the denominator in both cases, that is simple interest and compound interest, same, and there is no better denominator than 100. Okay. Again, but if you are comfortable solving in your way that you want to calculate it now and then proceed, it's just your way of strength if you're able to do it. This is my strength. I like to keep the denominator to be as simple as possible, and there is nothing simple denominator than 100. So to proceed, now let's calculate the compound interest. Now compound interest principal we know is P. We have assumed rate of interest, that is R, is 4% per annum, and time period, that is N, is 2 years. Now we know that compound interest is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N minus P. Don't be confused. You must be knowing that amount is equals to principal into 1 plus r by 100 whole to the power n. Correct? That is the formula that we find the amount. But what about the compound interest? When you minus this particular sum with the principal, you get the compound interest. So this is the formula that I have just put in here. So let's calculate this. So P into 1 plus 4 by 100 whole to the power 2 minus P, correct? Let's solve this. So this becomes P into 1.04 square minus P. I hope you are able to follow. So this will be 1.0816 P minus P. So compound interest will become 0.0816 P. Correct? So my simple interest is 0.08 P and the compound interest is 0.0816 P. I'm taking a 10-second pause so that you must be clear with this. Okay, let's move ahead. So we assume the principal to be P with the help of the principal now, and given the fact that there is the rate of interest and the time period, we calculated both the simple and compound interest. Now what is given to us that the difference in the compound and simple interest is rupees 1. So what is given is compound interest minus simple interest is equals to 1. Correct. Now let's solve this. 0.0816p minus 0.08p is equals to 1. Okay. So this will become 0.0016p is equals to 1. So what does principal become? Which is the sum. This is what we need to calculate. So principal becomes 1 divided by 0.0016. Correct. You solve this. This will be 625. This is the answer. I hope you have followed along. If you find it difficult, please watch this part again. It's a simple question. You just need to be aware about the formulas and also be aware about the flow in which the simple interest, compound interest, amount, these have to be calculated. Once you have that flow, you will be able to understand that if there is certain information missing, which you need to assume it now, which will help you to calculate the interest and the amount and ultimately help you solve the question. Next question. Find the compound interest if rupees 2000 was invested for 2 years at 15% per annum compounded half yearly. Wow. So now we have come to the question of half yearly. So we know that how to find out when any amount is to be compounded annually. We need to just find out how what will be the answer when it is compounded half yearly. So what is given is principal is rupees 2000. It is invested for a time period of 2 years and the rate of interest is 15% per annum compounded half yearly. This is a very important information. Do not neglect this. Do not forget this whenever you are solving such a question. Correct? Now, we need to calculate the compound interest. So can I say compound interest is equal to P into 1 plus. Now the formula changes in case of a half yearly compounding. Please watch my video number 2. We have discussed all the formulas related to simple and compound interest. We have given you the formula of compounded half yearly and quarterly and annually. It is going to help you to solve questions fast and not think about how to calculate. So coming back, compound interest is equal to principal into 1 plus. Now rate of interest gets half. So R by 2 divided by 100 whole to the power of the time period gets doubled 2n minus principal. Correct? I hope you're able to follow. We are not calculating the amount. This is the compound interest. So that's why we did minus principal. Okay, now let's solve this. So 2000 into 1 plus R by 2, that is 15 by 2 by 100. whole to the power of 2 into 2 minus 2000. Correct? Let's solve this. 2000 into 1 plus. This is 7.5 by 100. This becomes 4 minus 2000. So this is 2000 into 107.5 divided by 100 to the power 4 minus 2000. So this is 2000 into 1.075 told to the power 4 minus 2000. Correct? This will be 2000 into 1.335 minus 2000. Let's solve this. This will be 2670.93 minus 2000. So the difference of these two amount will be 670.93. This is the compound interest that we were asked to find under the compounding method of half yearly. Simple question. I hope you have followed along and this is the answer that you will also get. Next question. What is the difference between compound interest and simple interest obtained from a sum of rupees 10,000 for 2 years at 15% per annum? Okay, it's very simple to find out. Everything is given. We have the principal, we have the time period, and we have the rate of interest. We just need to calculate the difference between the compound interest and simple interest. Okay, so let's say in case of simple interest first, principal is rupees 10,000, rate of interest is 15% per annum, and the time period is 2 years. Let's calculate the simple interest very quickly. Simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time period divided by 100. So let's calculate this. This is 10,000 into 15 into 2 divided by 100. Correct. So this will be 3,000. So the simple interest is 3,000. Let's come to the compound interest. Compound interest principal is rupees 10,000. Rate of interest is 15% per annum and nothing is given, so it is compounded annually. And the number of years is 2 years. Correct. So compound interest is equal to principal into 1 plus r by 100 to the power n minus p. Correct. Let's solve this. So this will be 10,000 into 1 plus 15 by 100 to the power 2 minus 10,000. So this will be 10,000 into 1.15 to square minus 10,000. Correct. This will be 13,225 minus 10,000. So this will be 3,225. This is the compound interest. We have the simple interest, we have the compound interest. We need to calculate the difference. So the difference between the compound interest and simple interest, that is 3,225 minus 3,000. This is 225. This is my answer. Easy question. I hope you have solved along with me. And this is the answer that you will also get. Simple question. It was just formula based and little calculation. I end the video here. We'll solve more questions in our next video. So do not forget to watch our next video on simple and compound interest. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any query, doubts, or anything you want to tell us, you can mail us at hello@apnafundaonline.in. You can also follow us on social media platforms for daily updates of ApnaFunda Online. Ensure you don't miss a single video on this topic. So kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Stay tuned to ApnaFunda Online for more educational videos. Thank you.